What is going on, Nexus crew? Get ready, because the news cycle is absolutely exploding today, and we've got the hottest, most critical updates you need to know, right here, right now. The pace of innovation and surprise announcements never slows down, and if you're not plugged into PS5 Nexus, you're missing out on the game-changing intel that shapes your entire gaming world. We're diving deep into the decisions that ripple across the industry, the technical marvels that push boundaries, and the surprising shifts that redefine entire franchises. Today, we're kicking things off with a story that's sending shockwaves through the indie scene, revealing how the sheer, unyielding presence of one highly anticipated title is forcing major adjustments for other developers, pushing back release dates and creating strategic new windows for visibility. It's a fascinating look at how the biggest players can indirectly influence the entire ecosystem. Next up, we're shifting gears to a remake that's been on everyone's radar, but the latest performance analysis is raising some serious eyebrows. We've got the inside scoop on the console experience for this beloved classic's modern overhaul, and the frame rates aren't quite hitting the mark. We'll break down exactly what the data shows and what it means for your playtime on PlayStation. Then, we're talking about a franchise that's making a monumental leap to a new platform, a move that's 19 years in the making. We've got all the essential details on launch times and what this historic debut means for players on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Get ready to mark your calendars, because this is a massive moment for gaming history. And finally, we're wrapping up with a deeper dive into that same major franchise's arrival on a new console, dissecting the release details and what this historic move signifies for the future of gaming. You don't want to miss any of these crucial updates. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification bell is on so you never miss a beat. A monumental shadow: how Silksong's arrival reshapes the gaming landscape. The gaming world is a dynamic ecosystem, and sometimes the sheer anticipation for one colossal release can cast a long shadow, influencing the release strategies of many others. This is precisely the situation playing out with the much-awaited Hollow Knight. Silksong. Its confirmed release date has sent ripples through the industry, prompting a significant delay for the highly anticipated indie title, Demonschool. Originally slated for release on September 4, 2025, Demonschool has now been pushed back to November 19, 2025. This strategic postponement, a delay of over 2 months, is a direct response to the overwhelming presence of Hollow Knight. Silksong. Usbrid Games, the publisher behind Demonschool, articulated this decision in a press release, emphasizing their primary goal: ensuring Demonschool receives the maximum possible exposure and attention. The statement clearly conveyed their belief that launching on September 3rd, the day before Silksong's September 4th release, would be detrimental to their game's chances of being noticed and discussed meaningfully. If the September period is going to be Silksong's moment, then we need to be elsewhere on the calendar to give Demonschool its own moment to be seen and talked about meaningfully, the Usbrid team explained. This decision, while perhaps frustrating for eager players, highlights a shrewd understanding of market dynamics and the power of a major title to dominate the conversation. The team at Demonschool had every intention of adhering to their original September 3rd release date. However, after careful and what they described as anguished consideration, the discovery of Hollow Knight, Silksong's release date on such short notice necessitated a change of plans. This extra time will not go to waste. The developers plan to leverage the delay to further enhance the game. This includes refining existing features and, excitingly, incorporating post-launch content that was originally planned to be released later, now being integrated into the base game. Demonschool aims to capture the essence of traditional Persona games, placing players in the role of Faye and her companions as they navigate life at a mysterious island university while battling formidable foes in both the human and demon worlds. The game is now confirmed to launch for PS5 and PS4 on November 19th, and the publisher assures that this will be the final release date. The strategic retreat from the September release window, driven by the colossal anticipation for Hollow Knight. Silksong underscores a critical aspect of game development and marketing. Timing is everything, especially when a titan enters the arena. The gaming community has largely responded with understanding, recognizing the competitive landscape and the need for smaller titles to carve out their own space to shine. This move by Demonschool is a testament to strategic planning in the face of overwhelming market forces. But what happens when a highly anticipated remake struggles to meet performance expectations on consoles? Prepare yourself as we dive into the technical details of a massive franchise's return. Frame rate fumbles, Metal Gear Solid Delta's console performance under scrutiny. The highly anticipated remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, titled Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater promises a stunning visual overhaul of the classic PlayStation 2 title, leveraging the power of modern hardware. While initial impressions and PC performance have been generally positive, recent analyses of the console versions, particularly for PlayStation 5, have revealed some surprising and potentially concerning shortcomings. Specifically, the game appears to struggle with maintaining a consistent frame rate, even in its designated performance modes. Digital Foundry's in-depth technical analysis indicates that the PS5 version, even when set to target 60 frames per second, frequently dips significantly below this mark. Reports suggest that in denser jungle environments, the frame rate can plummet to around 45 frames per second, and even lower when players are submerged underwater. This inconsistency raises questions about the optimization efforts for the console release. The situation is reportedly even more challenging for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Instead of offering distinct performance and quality modes, the PS5 Pro version consolidates its enhancements into a single performance boost mode. However, to achieve these higher frame rates, the game reportedly utilizes a lower, sub-1080p resolution, which is then upscaled. The visual results of this upscaling have been described as less than ideal, leading to a noticeably grittier or blurrier image quality. This approach has led to considerable discussion and disappointment among fans and critics who expected a more polished experience, especially given the game's reliance on the Unreal Engine 5. One viral post on social media highlighted these issues, stating, "The game runs terribly, with PS5 XSX rendering 720p 1080p at 3050 FPS in performance mode. The PS5 Pro somehow runs worse and looks blurrier despite using PSSR." Another disastrous Unreal Engine 5 release. While the game's core gameplay and graphical fidelity are still expected to be high, these performance issues could impact the overall player experience, particularly for those sensitive to frame rate fluctuations or visual clarity. There is still a window for Konami to address these shortcomings, especially for the base PS5 version, with a potential Day 1 patch. However, with the early access launch imminent, the extent of these optimizations remains to be seen. The PS5 Pro's performance issues, in particular, leave many wondering how or if these will be rectified in future updates. While these issues may not be outright deal-breakers, they strongly suggest that players with access to a high-end PC might find a smoother and more visually consistent experience with Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater. The discourse surrounding these performance metrics is intense, with many fans expressing concern over the increasing trend of unoptimized console releases, particularly those built on advanced engines like Unreal Engine 5. The community is eagerly awaiting official responses or patches that could address these critical performance concerns. Now for a truly historic gaming event that's been decades in the making. Get ready as we break down the launch details for a legendary franchise's PlayStation debut. Gears of War rolls onto PlayStation. Launch times and details revealed for Reloaded. For nearly 2 decades, the Gears of War franchise has been synonymous with Xbox, a flagship series that defined a generation of console gaming. However, that exclusive stronghold is about to be broken. Gears of War, Reloaded, a remastered version of the iconic 2006 original, is set to launch on August 26th, marking the very first time the beloved franchise will be playable on a PlayStation console. This monumental shift in platform availability has generated significant buzz, and for those eager to jump into the action as soon as possible, knowing the precise launch times across all platforms is crucial. Developer The Coalition has officially released this information, detailing when players on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC can expect to access the game. Gears of War Reloaded serves as a faithful remaster of the original Gears of War, a title originally developed by Epic Games and exclusively launched for the Xbox. This new iteration promises enhanced visuals, including 4K resolution and support for up to 120 frames per second, breathing new life into the classic cover-based shooter mechanics that define the series. The game is set to go live at 8 a.m. PT on August 26th, which translates to 11 a.m. ET. This simultaneous global launch ensures that players across different time zones can begin their Gears experience at the same moment. For those planning their digital downloads, preloading for Gears of War Reloaded is already available. The file size varies slightly across platforms, with the Xbox version weighing in at 68.75 GB and the PS5 version at 63.1 GB. PC players will need approximately 70 GB of free space. Priced at $39, Gears of War Reloaded is available physically only for the PS5, while digital versions are accessible across all platforms. A notable perk for existing players is that anyone who already owns the digital version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition will receive Gears of War Reloaded automatically and for free. Additionally, the game is included as part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. The remaster boasts crossplay capabilities, allowing players on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC to compete and cooperate together, further unifying the player base. This launch is particularly significant not only for bringing Gears to PlayStation, but also as a precursor to future developments in the franchise. The Coalition is actively working on a new, original Gears of War title, Gears of War E-Day, slated for release in 2026, and a Gears of War movie directed by David Leitch is also in development. The transition of Gears of War to PlayStation is a landmark event, celebrated by fans who have long wished for the series' multi-platform availability. The comprehensive details on launch times, file sizes, and pricing ensure players are well informed as they prepare to experience this historic moment in gaming. But what does this landmark release mean for the broader gaming landscape and its history? Let's dive deeper into the context and the unique journey of this franchise's arrival on a new console. Gears of War Reloaded lands on PS5, unpacking the release details and historical significance. 2 decades ago, the very notion of the iconic Gears of War franchise gracing a PlayStation console would have been met with outright disbelief. Yet, time and evolving market dynamics have a way of making the seemingly impossible a reality. Gears of War Reloaded, a meticulously remastered version of the groundbreaking 2006 original that introduced the world to the visceral thrill of the chainsaw gun, is officially launching on PlayStation 5 this Tuesday, August 26th. This release, also available on Xbox and PC, represents a significant milestone, bringing enhanced visuals, higher resolutions, and frame rate support up to 120 FPS to the classic experience. Furthermore, it introduces full crossplay and cross-progression, enabling seamless multiplayer and co-op campaigns across all supported platforms. The launch is synchronized globally, meaning players on any platform can jump in simultaneously. The confirmed release time for Gears of War Reloaded is 8 a.m. PT, 11 a.m. ET, on Tuesday, August 26th. Reflecting on the history of this franchise, Gears of War was a cornerstone of the Xbox 360's early success, providing a premium multiplayer shooter experience a year before the highly anticipated Halo 3 arrived. Developed by Epic Games, a studio now more widely recognized for Fortnite, Gears of War pioneered the cover-based shooter genre. Its innovative mechanic of snapping characters to level geometry with a button press allowed players to strategize and engage enemies while mitigating damage, a system that influenced countless subsequent titles. For a period in the late 2000s and early 2010s, the cover shooter template became ubiquitous, but Gears of War consistently stood out, particularly for its exceptional cooperative campaign modes. Its arrival on PlayStation signifies a major shift in console exclusivity paradigms. The remastered edition is priced at a competitive $39 for the PS5. This release is more than just a technical upgrade. It's a testament to the enduring legacy of the franchise and a strategic move by Microsoft to broaden its reach. The development of Gears of War, E-Day, a new installment set for 2026, and the upcoming Gears of War movie underscore the franchise's continued relevance and expansion. This release not only brings a piece of gaming history to a new audience, but also highlights the evolving landscape of platform exclusivity in the modern gaming era. The community's reaction has been largely positive, with many longtime fans expressing excitement at the prospect of playing Gears on their preferred platform, while new players get a chance to experience the genesis of a legendary series. It's incredible to see such a pivotal franchise make this historic leap. Now, let's recap all the major news we covered today. That was a whirlwind of gaming news. We saw Demonschool delayed to November 19th due to the massive anticipation for Hollow Knight, Silksong, Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater is facing frame rate issues on PS5, with the PS5 Pro version also showing graphical concerns. Gears of War Reloaded has officially launched on PS5, Xbox, and PC with crossplay support. And we delved into the details of Gears of War Reloaded's arrival on PlayStation, marking a historic moment for the franchise. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to PS5 Nexus for all your gaming news needs, ring that notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's stories, and make sure to follow us on all our social media channels for more exclusive content.